So the schedule of the Mekubalim, okay, after Shacharit, the night is one thing. After Shacharit, what to do? When to daven Shacharit is another question. But whatever is the schedule for the Shacharit, after Shacharit, let's start with the Arizal. Okay, the Arizal, it says in Shar Kavanot exclusively that he would take off his tefillin after Aleinu Shabeach, go home, eat, come back to the Bet Midrash, put on Rabbeinu Tam, and learn basically until Mincha. And then, okay, that's what it says in Shar Kavanah. There is those that they say that will be the lechatchila way to do, because this is what the Arizal did. So whatever the Arizal did, that will be the lechatchila. There's others that say that the Arizal had like issues with his health, that he was compromising, that it says like that he was coming late for Shacharit because of that as well, and there was different things. So you see that like the way of that he whatever he needed to do, so he did to guard his body, which is each one of us have to learn from that to take those things seriously and to take care of our health. That's in a side point, but it means that you, according to that view, you can't learn from like the custom of the Arizal of doing the meal right after Shacharit. And there is many rabbis that are delaying their breakfast and like trying to learn as much as they can after Shacharit right there with tefillin on in the Bet Knesset. Okay. My rabbi for Kabbalah, Rav Avichai, he was like just saying the Chok L'Israel with the tefillin on after Shacharit, and then take off the tefillin and go home to eat. Now the Chok L'Israel, it's another like discussion of like, is that the best way to do that, or it's better to do it other ways? But right now it's on the subject matter, so we'll leave it for another time.
My next question.
Bezrat Hashem soon. But for now, just to finish about the breakfast, whenever you get to do the breakfast, there is definitely a reason to eat bread. Okay, the Chazal is mentioning that the Gemara, that is saving from diseases and so on and so forth. The Kabbalah understanding of that is there's different points there. Okay, let's start with the Netilat Yadayim. The Netilat Yadayim is elevating the hands, and elevation of the hands is a hint of elevating the Sfirot. Okay, and this elevation of Sfirot is the starting, the beginning of a process of bringing mochin to the Sfirot. And there's a lot of like complexity that we can discuss of like the mechanic of how it happens. We'll leave it for another time. But that's definitely like part of that. Okay, it's not the only thing, but it's definitely part of that. Then like all of the meditations of like eating, and there's a lot of learning there. Also, that we'll leave for another time. Bottom line is that the meal is a completion of the prayer. Okay, we see that more clear about Shabbat, but we can learn from Shabbat meals also to the weekday meals. So in the Shabbat, we see definitely that the prayer is the internal tikkun, and then the meal is the external tikkun. Okay, and that's what I also heard from Rav Avichai a few times, that any meal that we do, we have to meditate on doing the tikkun of the external worlds. So to have the completion of the prayer, we need to have a meal. So according to that, what do you do when you're fasting? Okay, that's another like point of like meditation of the fast. What is the plus about the analysis? But one of the reasons that some Mekubalim, they said that it's not worthy to fast is because of that point, because you can do tikkun with eating that you miss that in the fasting. Obviously, everything has plus and minuses, and depends what is your goal. So sometimes you have to work on one thing, at times you work in different things. So when someone is working on a certain tikkunim that is fasting, so yes, he's losing those tikkunim of like eating and doing the tikkun of the external aspect. But practically, the sad reality is how many people are actually doing those meditation when they eat, on doing the tikkun of the external aspects.
Mhm.
Right? Most of the people just eat.
Yeah.
That's it. Period. Just to sustain their body. Hopefully, some people they eat only for their lasting desire. But let's say like people that are like more conscious, so they eat to sustain their body, and that's also important, right? But when we're learning more about the meaning of the world, the meaning of the creation, the meaning of plantation, animals, and that to have this elevation that comes to be, all of those parts becomes to be part of us, part of human beings, that's already quite advanced. So whoever is there, good, and whoever is not, Bezrat Hashem will get there soon enough. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, amen.